Okay, we're in Book 3, Hybrid Chord Study 1. And this, maybe sounds kind of technical, but it's really kind of a nice sounding strum. And we'll talk about what hybrid chords are a little bit later, but at first I'm just going to play through it, and then we'll talk about all the things to look at when you're playing this one. Okay, so I'm going to count it off. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Okay. Now, what are hybrid chords? It's really not that complicated. It's like if you hold a note from one chord into another, and then, like in this case, we're holding this D, which is on the 3rd fret of the 2nd string, from the D chord into a C chord, and into a G chord. I would call those hybrid chords. And you could, name each chord, like the C would be technically a C add 9th, but we're not going to worry about that. And often, like piano players will do that. They'll hold a note and do several chord changes underneath that one note. And it's kind of sounds kind of cool, but and you don't necessarily need to put a name on each one of those chords. And we're not doing that. We're just starting with a regular D chord. And when you go to the C hybrid chord, you're still holding that 3rd finger, so we're not fingering it like we normally finger a C chord with the 3rd finger in the bass. We're doing fingers 2 and 1, and then we're moving those across the street to the G chord while still holding that D. So it's like... Okay, so that's what I mean by hybrid chords, and we'll have a few of those in this book. And it's a little more advanced than just learning the basic C, D, C, and G chords like we did in the first book. Now, the picking, one thing I did not do in the tablature here is put in the down and up strokes. But they are very important, so I want to go over those with you. And the first 3 lines are almost identical, except the very last note of the 3rd line is a different string. So be careful and make sure you notice that. Like when you do the first line, and let me go over the picking. It's down, 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 up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up. And so you do 2 upstrokes in a row, and it just flows better. Try to see the logic in why I'm doing sometimes 2 upstrokes in a row. It's so that the hand will go across the strings in a smoother way, and it just really flows better. So again, it's like down, 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 up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up. And when you go to that G chord, you've got a tie. So make sure you're holding that through the next eighth note. You're holding it like for 2/8 note counts. And now, like what I said, like if you look at the second measure where you're doing down, up, down, up, the last note, that upstroke, is on the third string. But when you look at the third line, it's going to be almost identical. It's down, up, down, and then it's up, down, up. And the open string is the second string. You have to lift the third finger. So that's the first place that, and I didn't mention that, but you're holding the third finger on the third fret of the second string through all three of the first three lines. You don't need to lift it one time until that very last note of the third line where you go like, and you're going to the A chord. Okay? So you're just holding on to that third fret. And now, when you go to the A chord, this is where it gets a little bit tricky, okay? So we're doing also down, 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 and we're doing that clamped A, where you have the second finger on the second string, and the first finger is barring the third and fourth strings. We've done that several times, so you should know what I mean when I say a clamped A. So, and then you're using your pinky. You could use third finger, but I think the pinky is more comfortable. And then this is tricky. You're going up, down, and then you skip a string, up, down. So it's like up, down, and it's real easy to miss that string skip. So when I was playing through it at the first of the lesson, I was really, concerned about missing that string skip there. You're going down, 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 up, down, and then when you hit this low G with the second finger, hold it, and then you do up, and then hold the third finger now, and let go of the second finger to hit the open fifth string, and let this ring until you hit the second fret. So again, you've got up, and that second up, you might want to give a little kick to that note. Sorry. So that it rings through. And it's, again, it's down, up, down, down, up. All the picking really makes sense if you really look at the logic. Just doing strict down, up often does not work, with the string changes. So we do sometimes 2 upstrokes in a row, sometimes 2 downstrokes in a row, sometimes we'll do like several downstrokes and then an upstroke just to get our hand back for some more downstrokes. Like so often it's to change directions is why you would do an upstroke or a downstroke. So again, on that fourth line down, it's the A chord with the clamp, down, down, up, down, up, down, up, sorry, up, down, up. Let me go over that again. It's down, 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 up, down, down, up, down, up. It's a lot of string changes. So you may have to practice like little spots of that. Practice the, maybe just get that down. Sorry. Up, down. And try to do it naturally. Just keep your hand very relaxed. And then when you get to the last line, it's a regular D chord again. But then when you play the open string, switch to second finger on that third fret instead of third finger. let go of the chord and do second finger, and then it's an open, like this, sorry. And then it's a C-shaped chord. And this chord it's still a D chord, but it's a different voicing than this D. But you can hear it's the same chord, right? Slightly different voicing. So it's fingers 4, 3, 1, 2, and you're getting into it. O, 3 with the second finger, and then O, and then add all the other notes of the chord. And just try to figure it out from the tablature. But it's sort of like a C chord moved up, but we're refingering it like this. Sorry. So like if you did a C chord with your second, third, and fourth fingers, but moved it up and then added the first finger, that's what we call a C shape. But it's kind of it's not really a bar chord. It can be if you add the first string to it, but we're not doing it that way. So it's like, again, and again, it's very late at night here, so but that's a tricky chord to grab, you know, and often it's endings where I'll introduce like a new chord shape or something a little tricky. So you have to really watch my endings on these things. But let me play through it one more time. You know, I'm a little groggy, so it might make some mistakes, but hopefully not. You know, I'll do it a little faster. So I didn't repeat it that time because I wanted to make sure that I didn't make a mistake. So enjoy this lesson. It's really a fun thing, and you'll see as we go through the third book, we'll do some kind of complex things. We'll do little melodic motifs with the strumming, and it's not just chord strumming. It's adding passing tones and all kinds of little melodic motifs, you know, with it. So please subscribe and like my Facebook page, John Hedger Guitar Studio. I need those algorithms. We'll see you the next time.